So the new Nintendo Switch OLED model was announced this week from Nintendo, and it's been the hot topic of the internet lately from what I've been seeing. A lot of people have been talking about the new Switch OLED model. I don't know if I'm saying it properly, but yeah, a lot of people have really been either into this or a lot of people really just aren't happy with it, and it's kind of up and down because Nintendo didn't really announce a lot of stuff with it, and that's not really a good thing for them because when they announced this thing, they do, I don't want to say a breakdown of it, but what they shown us for the new OLED model, it was pretty disappointing. The only good thing about the Switch OLED model was maybe it has a bigger kickstand. That was pretty much it. I mean, it does have a little bit more gigabytes. I think like 64 something gigabytes maybe compared to the old Switch. But yeah, but anyway, that's not really the biggest changes to the Switch OLED. The biggest changes to the Switch OLED was the fact that everybody wanted it to be in like 4K. They wanted graphics upgrade. They wanted to see stuff more. They wanted major improvements. People thought this was going to be the Switch Pro, but they said no, that this is the Switch OLED. And honestly, already from what I've been hearing and what I've been seeing from people online, already people do not like the Nintendo Switch OLED. It has already become a meme at this point. Like, what has Nintendo think they've been doing? First, they had a rough start with the Nintendo Switch, then it got so much better, and then we had the 12.03 software crisis, which again has been fixed, thankfully, due to the amount of complaining that the community, especially me, have been complaining about for a week. They fixed it over Father's Day, thank God, and now we have the Switch OLED announcement. Like, oh my goodness. And I thought the Nintendo Switch Lite was bad, especially because you literally can't take the Joy-Cons off the Switch Lite. Once you get drift, your console's busted. So thank God I avoided the Switch Lite. And I'm pretty much glad I'm going to be avoiding the Switch OLED too. I mean, I'll be honest, some people are interested into the Switch OLED, and I'm happy for them. But at the same time, you gotta remember, the Switch OLED is literally not a big difference. It's literally the exact same thing as the Nintendo Switch. All the Nintendo Switch OLED has, like I said already, it's literally just a slightly bigger screen, and it has a better kickstand and a little bit more gigabytes than the original Switch. I mean, I have a 256 gigabyte chip for my Nintendo Switch, so I don't really need to worry about the storage as much. Now, I like I said, I'm not really the biggest fan of the Switch OLED, but a lot of people are already not happy with it, and from what I've been seeing online, there's an article actually I want to show you guys that kind of explains a little bit more about this topic. And before I do, I actually want to show you a tweet that actually saw recently from the internet. So I'm going to go ahead and put the tweet up on the screen right now. So pretty much this happened I believe 2 days ago if I'm reading this correctly, and pretty much Roman Noodles, fantastic name by the way, asks about the Switch OLED, but does it run any better? Question mark. And the big question or big answer, excuse me, from one of the Nintendo people, JC Rodrigo, I think is how you say his name. He said, "Nope, not what it's for. Stick with the current one if you're not digging the screen." And this kind of triggered a lot of Nintendo people. Oh boy, this doesn't look good. So, I'm gonna be straight with you guys. This is just like the Cyberpunk issue that I kind of discussed a couple weeks ago, I think. I don't remember fully, but it's been a little bit now. But anyway, I digress. So, remember when I said about Cyberpunk, about Sony saying, hey, don't play it on the base consoles, play it on the next consoles, or better yet, wait for patches to come out? It's kind of like what Nintendo is saying with the OLED. If people are wondering why should we buy Cyberpunk if you're telling us not to play it for the PlayStation, it's kind of the same thing with the Switch OLED. Why are you telling us to not buy the Switch OLED if you're advertising this? Like, that just doesn't make any sense. Like, I think it's the way I understand it is that if you just want a slightly better graphics upgrade, then you could get the Switch OLED, but at the same time, it's literally doesn't just doesn't make sense. I mean, there are still a lot of features and stuff that I'm kind of missing, but then again, Nintendo really didn't announce any of these features at all in their OLED trailer from what I saw, and there's been a lot of other things that are also kind of a little skeptical in my opinion. So I am going to show you this article that I'm going to put up on the screen for you guys right now so you can get an understanding of what I'm trying to talk about. The Nintendo announced the new Switch model on Tuesday, an upgrade that was widely and thoroughly reported, but a surprise nonetheless for some. That's because the latest version of the Nintendo Switch was widely successful. The Switch won't introduce a graphics boost to 4K resolution according to Nintendo's technical specifications. Instead, the Nintendo Switch OLED model, which is the official name, which is really kind of cheesy if you ask me. It's the official name revised for the console handheld hybrid. It will output a maximum of 1080p image will hook up to a TV, literally the same thing as the standard Switch. It's the same as the 4-year-old model. That detail runs contrary to an early reporting on the device from Bloomberg, which said the next Nintendo Switch model would support 4K ultra high definition graphics when docked. So already you can see from this article that there's not really that much of a big upgrade from reports of reviewers and from other people and all that stuff. And already this kind of triggered a lot of people who are like big Nintendo fans. Like, what's the point of even getting the new Switch OLED if it's not going to change anything? Thing. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I mean, I personally am not gonna get the Switch OLED because, I mean, again, I already have two Nintendo Switches because of the 12.03 software issue. But I mean, I'm not gonna bother with that. From my personal experience, I would care less about the Switch OLED. I mean, even if I had all the money in the world, I'm still not going to bother with it. You know why? Because I'm already happy with my current Switch. I mean, I don't really need the Switch OLED or the Switch Lite. I mean, I really don't take my Switch out that much on the go. I mean, the only time I ever do is very, very, very occasionally, really, when we're making, like, I don't know, a trip to one of my family's house, or maybe if we're going out for the holidays or something. I don't know. But I almost never take my Switch out. I only do it once in a blue moon. But like I said before, or I don't think a lot of people are going to be happy with the Switch OLED. Now, it is still in development. It is going to be released around September and October, but there is one more piece of this article I would like to go over before I end the video. Instead, the new Switch OLED model will feature less dramatic upgrades, a slightly larger screen, a revisited dock with wired LAN port, improved built-in speakers, a better kickstand. I mean, the old kickstand on the old Switch really is kind of garbage. Nintendo tells The Verge that the new system does not have a new CPU or more RAM for previous Nintendo Switch models. Oh boy, now isn't that the ice on the cake here, people? Nintendo 2003 called, all the other consoles had a LAN port, so yeah, joke's on you, Nintendo. You kind of embarrassed yourself there. So, yeah, not really the biggest news from Nintendo. Honestly, I think, in my opinion, they should probably delay the Switch OLED and actually give it better features. You know what I'm saying? But it's just awful how this stuff is not really going too well. I mean, like I said already at the start of this, nobody is happy with the Switch OLED. I mean, that's not true. I did say that some people might be happy with this, so yeah, scratch that. But what I'm trying to say is, like, this is literally the exact same Switch as the standard model, so why would anyone get the OLED edition if the standard one still performs just as good? I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know? I mean, that's just how a lot of things go, and that's usually like a good Minecraft quote, in my opinion. If it's not broke, don't fix it. And what are they trying to do? Add some new features that literally a lot of other consoles easily excel in. But I mean, they're trying to like literally really make this the best console ever. I'll be honest, I think the Nintendo Switch personally, in my opinion, I love it a lot. It reminds me of the Xbox 360 in a way where I have a lot of fun on there, but I will be honest, it doesn't really have the best qualities like the 360 had. But I mean, I'm a big fan of the 360. Unfortunately, it had the red ring of death, but I mean, I'm having a lot of fun with this as I did on the 360, but I digress. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Are you going to buy the Switch OLED? Are you not? Let me know down below. So, that's pretty much all I'm gonna say. So until the next time, you guys, I'm waiting and I'm gonna be wondering what the Switch OLED has for us to offer on the full release. And I'll see you all later.